Hey, we can make it if we try. Just the two of. Okay, we lost all our viewers. Hi.
You and I.
Welcome to Total Spotfest. JJ Brownlee, Jamie Faulkner, just the two of us tonight. Austin is on assignment.
Getting his learn on or getting his work on? One or the other. He's doing something.
He doing something. So we're just going back to a little old school. Just Jamie, JJ coming at you here. We got actually a good amount of stuff to talk about. The wrestling show that was on TV tonight, it's not going to be the biggest part of that. It was fine. It was a go-home show. It was an old-school AEW go-home show. But we got lots to get to tonight, so we do want to thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate you giving us some of your time. If you are checking us out live, please join in the chat down below. While you're down there, if you haven't already, make a flirting pass at that like and subscribe, and hit the little alert too. Alert's good for you as well. Why not make it a foursome? So, I'm trying to be creative with it. I don't know. It's like I feel like a shill anyway because it's like on YouTube. Hey, smash that like button. It's like, but that's it is what it is.
Dude.
I know I'm weird. Yes, I know. Hey.
I am all about the pandering. No, like it's pretty simple. Hey, if you like what you hear, hit that like and subscribe. And if you really like what you hear, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Then you can hear every time we go live. Because guess what? We are Total Spotfest live. It's finally a thing now.
It's amazing. So for those of you not around from the beginning, we started off as Total Spotfest Live. Our original logo was a ripoff of Total Request Live, for those of you old enough to remember the 90s, and Carson Daly post-school afternoon on MTV. Nobody got it because we weren't live at all. And it was just like, whoa, this is... So we just became Total Spotfest, and now we're live. So irony.
The irony.
But we hope you guys are having a wonderful...
I'm Fetarson Daily.
I'm just reading Jamie's comment, okay? Yes, but no. Jamie, how was your weekend? I know your week's been busy AF, but how was your weekend, man? How did you do in fantasy football?
0-3.
Jamie, bad start this year, dude.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the rub. I was the second highest scoring team in all three.
That is the most frustrating loss in fantasy football.
And in one league, I lost by 5 points, and my defense got me -11.
What defense do you have?
I had Jacksonville's defense.
Oh.
That was a good play, I thought.
I mean, they're supposed to be decent.
They played decent against the Chiefs, and then they got their taints handed to them.
I mean, at least you didn't have Denver's defense. Let's put it that way.
I would have never in a million years started that one. But no, yeah, I literally lost by 5 points. If I didn't start defense at all, I would have won.
Are you fully, Jamie, being a Chief fan here, are you on board with the whole Taylor Swift, Kelsey hype train?
Oh, yes, of course. Let's just get this into our podcast. Yes, I am. If she shows...
It's the number one media story of the week, dude. I'm sorry.
I know. It's kind of on point. But I'm saying this. If she shows up and we drop a 40 burger, she has to come every week. Right? That's all.
I mean, it was the Bears, but you didn't just you made the Bears look like Northwestern. I mean,
we have the number 3 ranked defense in all the land right now, and we haven't faced
defense.
chumps.
Your defense is
looking. Faced chumps.
Your defense looks good, dude. Your defense looks good, and Chris Jones makes a big difference, of course.
Pay that man his money.
Well, we'll see if that happens. Steelers had like almost 2 quarters in the middle of the game where it looks like we would be good in spite of Matt Canada, and then we won in spite of him at the end.
You have a terrible offensive coordinator,
so bad.
And you have a game manager for a quarterback.
Which, if we had a better offensive set, the game manager would be okay for the short term. But those two combined, come on. 3rd and 2, with 3.5 minutes left. All you need to do is get a first down to get it. So you run the ball, and if you don't get it, okay, well, you don't get it, right? Cool, you can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do a read option that everybody on the other team saw coming like 5 minutes earlier. I saw that. Oh God. But anyway, enough about football.
Yes. let's dive further into wrestling. And let's talk about some Fed news. You want to talk a little Fed news?
This is the second week in a row. Let's get more Fed news. Of course, talk about the big news. Jade Cargill officially signing multi-year contract. No.
Officially. We reported by ESPN, Total Sports Network.
Also, it looks like on the next NXT pay-per-view is coming up here, I think either this week or next week. I don't know. Brian Pillman's going to be – they have like Brian Pillman spots now going on. Good for him. Hey.
Yeah.
Good for him. But that's not what I'm getting at now. Fed things.
Yeah, so since it's TKO, they have made their annual rounds of releases, and this was a hefty list.
Surprisingly hefty list too in a lot of fronts.
Yeah, some of the people I'm like, okay, I get it. There was literally 2 or 3. I'm like, really? That happened to them? But I want to talk about this because there's some names on here because I want to play a little fantasy booking island here. In just
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So here are the names of the people that have been officially released by WWE. Most of you probably already know this, but if you don't, here you go. So we're going to start off with Mustafa Ali is officially a free agent. He's been asking for that for roughly 18 months. So congratulations. Emma, second time. Poor Emma. She did such a good job on Impact and other places, and just never materialized. And
they had her. She was literally on the road advertising their Perth pay-per-view show they have coming up. Found out, literally, tweets out, finds out she got fired, and immediately tweets out, "Oops, never mind, just got laid off."
Yeah,
it's like. Dude.
Yeah, one of my favorite unsung guys who never really did much in the ring other than just having that pizzazz was Rick Boogs. Love that guy. His charisma is on a different level. Aaliyah was a little shocking because she did do so well up on the main roster, and
she had a great push there for a hot minute, man.
It wasn't, she didn't get a push. Like, people loved her. Like, the crowd got behind her. Is very organic with her. Yeah. And then she gets hurt. Elias / Ezekiel got let go.
That's not a surprise. He hasn't, where's he been anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Riddick Moss, Madcap Moss. That one, I get it, because he's okay for them.
Right.
Top Dollar is gone. So again, Hit Row was destined never to work.
I mean, the second Swerve was gone, Hit Row was done for. And I know that it wasn't Swerve's idea. He kind of murphed into them, but he's what really made that, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Sorry.
Shelton Benjamin.
That surprised liver and piss out of me.
This is not only this is not his second time, people. This is his third time. But that one's surprising, but the most surprising one so far, Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
I was not expecting Dolph to be cut because Dolph can go. He's a great wrestler. He is getting a little long on the tooth. I get it, but whatever. Dana Brooke.
He never got the big push, right? He was always like the almost Shawn Michaels.
He had one push, and he's got it. Like, we're gonna get. Yeah, let's put a pin. Let's put a pin in him.
Okay, all right, we'll put a pin in him.
So Dana Brooke, okay, that's fine. Mansoor. Now that one's a little surprising just because of the connection to Saudi Arabia. Mace, one of the peeps there, he's gone.
Mansoor and Mace, the male model, whatever the fuck their name was.
Yeah.
They're both out.
Quincy Elliott. Daba Kato.
It was his second time, I think, around getting canned as well.
I think so. Shanky.
Sure. I have no idea who that is.
Ulyssa Leon.
Yeah.
Daniel MacArthur Bryson Montana. Now that's a name.
That's a good name.
That literally sounds like somebody who plays lacrosse. And Kevin Ventura Cortez. That is your list, ladies and gentlemen. All these people are free agents, allowed to do anything they want in 90 days. Because every single one of them has well, actually, some of them have a 30-day because NXT.
Yep.
NXT has a 30-day no compete, and then all of your main roster folk got the 90-day. So that would be Dolph, Shelton, Top Dollar, Riddick Moss, Elias, Aaliyah, Emma, Mustafa Ali, Rick Boogs, unfortunately. Dana Brooke more than likely as well. Everybody else has got the 30.
Everybody who you recognize name.
Pretty much.
Except for Yulisa Leone. She was on NXT, right?
Yeah, she sure was.
So she's got 30 days.
Yeah. So those are gone. So now, JJ, Fantasy Booking Island with all these free agents.
Putting them somewhere, aren't I?
Where do they go?
All right. So I'm not going to pick every single person here necessarily, right?
Okay.
But I'm gonna take
top three.
Well, so I'll pick a handful. I don't want to be,
Okay.
let's get in there. So, I think the knee-jerk reaction is to say Dolph Ziggler to AEW.
Makes a ton of sense, doesn't it?
It does make a ton of sense. I think that's more than likely what will happen. I don't think he's necessarily needed because I don't know. I mean, I think that probably is what will happen with that.
Okay.
Shelton Benjamin, I don't think is going to go immediately to any other promotion right now.
I agree.
He'll do some other stuff. I would say Emma or Tenille Dashwood, I'm going to send her back to Impact. I'm going to say she's going to resign. She had a very good relationship at Impact. She had a good run there, right?
Mm-hmm,
Impact's been, and we've heard this from people who have been through Impact recently, our good friend Sam Beal, as well as words that Ziggy Dice mentioned, that the Impact's very cordial about, your comings and goings. Look, they just brought back Jordan Grace, right? After she, so they're known to do this. And the modern day Impact isn't like old school TNA Impact burning bridges. So I think she goes back to Impact. I think it's a good fit for her and for them. And who else? I think you might see some of these names here try to make a run, going through indies of some sort, Dabba-Kato's one, he's got big size, right? You could see Mace trying to do something. I'm trying to think about Dana Brooke. I don't know if Dana Brooke's going to stay in wrestling either. I think she might just go back to fitness.
She's going to be, I bet she goes back to being a fitness model.
Oh, yeah, fitness of some sort, CrossFit,
Yeah, because, she is gorgeous and has, amazing muscle tone.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it's going to have, as big a splash. But I'll go with Tenille in Impact, Dolph in AEW, because that's a Tony Khan move.
100%.
Yeah, those are my two big. What about you? Where are you putting people at?
All right. So I'm going to have 3 buckets.
Ooh.
I'm going to have AEW, Impact, and New Japan. There are a few of these I could definitely see going to New Japan. And we're going to start there. So New Japan would pay money for Riddick Moss.
I think he would be a good fit in New Japan.
He'd be a great addition to a dying Bullet Club. Rick Boogs, I think, would do well over there as well. I think that would be a good one. Now, the Impact one is my largest group by far. Mustafa Ali makes a ton of sense in Impact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I missed that. He totally does.
Tenille Dashwood, Emma, absolutely agree there. I could see Aaliyah going there as well because they do have a good women's division, and I think that'd be good for her to cut her teeth a little bit more.
Yeah.
I could honestly see Elias going there too. Elias was in my maybe New Japan, but probably Impact, grouping there. And I would not be surprised if you had a Shelton Benjamin sighting in Impact.
I can see him do that, kind of like a short sort of pop instant sort of bit type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then my AEW is very short. Very, very, very short. And that's Dolph Ziggler. It's Dolph.
It's Dolph, right?
Dolph makes the most sense on two fronts. One, name. Nick Nemeth. Like, everybody knows who he is. He's a comedian. He likes doing touring with his brother, who usually coincides it with wrestling, like an event where they're going to be at. It's usually one or the other they do it at. Now, if they're together, it makes it a lot easier to do the scheduling. And he has been very vocal about trying to get his brother a push and get him his roses and getting the things his brother deserves.
Okay.
I could see him coming in, tagging with his brother, giving his brother a rub, giving his brother a title run, of some sort, with the tag team titles with him and his brother, so he can give his brother his flowers and ride off into the sunset and just write a ridiculously amazing autobiography.
Okay. All right. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, especially with his brother being there and his name. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but like the biggest one out of all that group that makes the most sense is like with a bullet is Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, I can't believe I totally glossed over
with all their flyers and everything. Jesus.
Thank God, So hopefully he gets what's coming to him properly, because I think I like him in Impact. Like you said, I think it's a great spot for him, I think that there's tons of angles they can do in there. Impact's going to have some Impact's interesting. So there's some word. Sami Callihan put out a cryptic tweet earlier today because he's free agent in 3 days.
Yep.
Did you know that? Yeah.
Sure is.
So that's a cornerstone of current Impact wrestling, and who knows, right? So there could be definitely good opportunity and room for Mustafa Ali. Is it Mustafa or Mustafa?
Whatever.
I feel terrible not knowing the proper thing because it's just like
like I've tried and I'm just like I'm done. It's Mustafa Ali.
Well, I'm not getting down that tangent again. So
it'd be so much better if there was no T and just call him Mufasa.
Mufasa. All right. Well, last week there was corporate stuff. This week it's the talent things, and apparently, I don't buy it, but apparently Vince McMahon's on the way out too, or at least for the time being.
And did you hear the juicy rumor that Stephanie and Triple H might be getting a divorce?
I saw that. I go, okay.
Yeah. And I would love
true, I don't know.
I would love to sit here and talk about that, whatever, but I really don't care.
I don't give a shit. I don't believe it's true, first of all.
No.
And even if it is, who cares? That's personal stuff.
One of them did something that they shouldn't have, or maybe they just have grown apart in these years. It happens.
It's life, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. I am generally interested to see what WWE looks like in 6 months. I'm fairly positive it's going to be the exact same thing it was 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But who knows? Maybe Vince finally is gone. Right?
That'd be amazing.
We'll see.
Oh God,
Let's shift gears.
Like
okay, that's enough Fed talk for one night. Let's talk about Dynamite, because there was a Dynamite going on.
If you would like to call it that.
It felt like one of their old school go home shows, didn't it?
It was an AEW programming, and it was definitely a go home trying to be a go home so hard that it wasn't a go home.
It was,
it felt flat. I mean, I love like the Wrestle Dream card, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing, and I do want to spend some time on that with you. But show.
Let's talk about the show real fast. There was 4 matches on this show. And I don't know about you, but I think the first one and the last one were the 2 best. And they weren't the greatest matches, but they were probably the 2 best of the night.
The last one was pretty good. I enjoyed the last one.
I like the last one. Okay. Well, they opened. I'll just pick one. They opened with Ray Phoenix and Jeff Jarrett, which was a surprisingly fun match to watch.
Mm-hmm. Sure was.
Jeff Jarrett, still fun. Crowd liked it. Crowd was actually excellent all night. I will say that.
Yeah, the crowd. I mean, the crowd was very chant happy.
Oh my God.
They were trying to make everything a chant. Like if somebody said thumb, thumb, thumb,
thumb.
It's like, Jesus, guys. Like, you don't have to make every word they say a chant. Poor MJF. Like, we'll get into his.
Well, let's get to him quick. Ray Phoenix, Jeff Jarrett. What were your thoughts about that? They left the belt on Ray Phoenix, thank God. When they came out with Jeff Jarrett, you knew they were going to. It was fun. Aubrey had a fun little spot against Karen Jarrett. My favorite long-term storytelling in AEW right now.
It was fine. I mean, I had no ill will towards this match.
It was a fun little match. Ray Phoenix won. Cool.
Yep. That was that. Then you had a nice video of the Boat Bros.
I love this. I love this so much.
So they were out on MJF's dad's boat, which like stepbrother vibes hard. But they're sitting there talking about everything, and MJF's super jealous about the whole Roddy thing. Offers to go get some beers. Gets ready to he puts on the ring. He's gonna totally hit Cole in the back of the head, and then doesn't, comes to his senses, and it's like, and Cole's like, it's okay for guys to have more than one friend, man. Like that's normal. It's usual.
So campy. It was fantastic. And at the end, it's like they went fishing for a big show. Apparently, not fishing for religion. They went fishing for a big show. It made it campier and even better.
The fact that he was dressed up as Captain Insano got me.
I know. This is the second time he's been Captain Insano on a Dynamite episode. God bless you, Paul White.
Preach. Yeah, and then also with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am a hopeless romantic. And my wife and I, our very first date, we went and saw The Waterboy romantic movie.
That's so good.
Captain Insano.
So good. I want to save the next bit here. There's really 2 things I want to talk about. Okay. We started talking about MJF a little bit. I want to talk about him, and I want to talk about this next bit. Those are the two best things I found of the night. Right.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and put MJF to bed then.
Oh, let's do it right now. Yeah. Let's get it out of the way. Because later on is when he came out and they had the promo with Adam Cole, who got hurt. I think legitimately got hurt jumping off of the ramp at. Can't get a break. Well, he can apparently.
Yeah. His ankle's a Kit Kat. So Adam Cole, MJF are in the middle of the ring. Adam Cole was on crutches. Announced to everybody that he has broken his ankle in 3 places and tore ligaments, and he is out. And they were going to relinquish the titles, but oh no, MJF is not going to give it to the righteous.
Who?
The righteous. So he's going to do a handicap match at Wrestle Dream for the Ring of Honor championships because he knows how much those belts mean to Adam Cole.
Hope we get Vita at Wrestle Dream. Please, God, Tony, give us Vita.
Yeah. Love Vita. She's a great interview. If you want to go back and watch that, you absolutely can.
We did a fantastic interview with Vita.
She
Jamie and
likes horror
her
movies.
geeked out about horror movies for at least 20 minutes. It was that I'm just sitting here just like, hi. Oh, that's when I had like my kidney stone too. I like ran out in the middle of the interview because I had my doctor go. Okay, anyway. Sorry.
That's right. So also,
I'll put a pin up here. Go check it out, guys.
Speaking of that, you know what next week starts, right?
It's spooky season.
It's been scare season since September 1 in my house. But we get to talk horror movies every single week up until Halloween.
So Jamie's had a full year. For those of you not familiar, maybe you haven't been with us since last October. But if you don't know, this is Jamie's shtick, right? You know, he's got a poster behind him of horror franchises, right? But so every October is some sort of horror movie themed stuff going on. So last year you had some really good topics week to week. I'm really interested to see what you come up with this time here. It's basically Jamie puts JJ on blast and JJ treads water to try and like find an answer half the time.
Yeah, it's great for me, guys. All right, so
here comes Roddy then.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Because here's Adam Cole with a legitimate busted up ankle, right? On crutches and all this stuff. And you hear, Adam! Adam! And Roddy's being wheeled out by the Kingdom in his hospital gown in a wheelchair. I personally love hospital gown, glasses, the neck brace, and socks with his wife's face, Marina Shafir, airbrushed on it all over them. Fantastic, Roddy.
He's amazing. He's so damn good. Yeah.
So he comes up, what about me? What about me? And here's a guy who just said he's going to have to go get, surgery. And he wants him to come down and take care of him and his fake neck injury. But on the boat, MJF learned a valuable lesson, and even though he thinks that Roddy's not worth it and a total douche and blah, 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 and all this stuff, he supports Adam Cole. Go be with your friend. I got this. Talking about, the match and the belts and all that stuff. So he does. And as they turn around Roddy, he's not in a rascal, but he had a wheelchair that's dubbed Hot Roddy.
He needs a rascal.
Where's the Roddy rascal at? Come on, guys.
Where is my damn Roddy rascal?
So that was all the fun stuff, but then the good stuff happened.
Yes. So right after that all happened, MJF is getting ready to talk, and Bullet Club music hits. Bang, bang, gang in full force. Here comes Jay White, Rock Hard, the Guns, Card Blade,
yes.
Cannot forget Card Blade, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, as soon as I saw him, I thought of one person alone.
Our good friend
Heather.
Heather, yes.
Thinking about you when I saw this. Because you prophesized this eons ago, that this would happen. And I do want to give you a shout out on that. Because they had a promo off. And at first, when MJF was laying in to Jay White, I thought, oh my God, they just buried Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had that, like, what are they doing to Jay White? Why are they doing this? They just buried the shit out of him.
It was going like long, and this is especially the part where Jamie was referencing. Everything MJF said, he stopped, and there was a chant going on from the crowd. Yes. I was to the point where I'm like, God damn it, don't do this, Jay White, Colorado. Stop it. Give him some time to retort. But MJF's good. It was good.
But people always forget about the exotic accent that is Jay White. And people forget that he's a phenomenal talker. And he brought the wood right back. And I was like, this is a match I've been wanting. Didn't want it right now because I wanted to save it and build it and make it this beautiful present on Christmas, or whatever you're into. Like, I just want to open this up on a special event.
Yeah.
But it seems like we're getting it a little sooner, and I'm for it.
It feels like Full Gear.
I thought for a second they were going to do Wrestle Dream and have him wrestle 2 matches in one night.
Dude, there's not enough. This card's already ridiculous. There's not enough room.
I know.
But it feels like Full Gear, right?
Yeah, it screams Full Gear.
Especially with Cole being out now, so you got to have something for him. What better thing than putting Jay White in the main event like he should be Everything about this is great.
Dude, couldn't agree more.
Do you think they're going to drop the belt to him?
No.
You think that's still Cole?
No.
I mean, because we don't know how long Cole's going to be out now, so that whole bit is got to be put on the shelf, at least somewhat. I mean, it's an ankle, so he can still be there and be like the guy on crutches walking around.
Yeah, he's going to be out, depending on how bad it was, 8 weeks.
That's wrestling. I mean, he'll be off TV maybe for 2, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then he could be there, he could be in a boot and, so he could be part of the storylines going on. I don't know.
Yeah, but so I want to cut to the very end of the show too, because then we just
That's fine.
get it all done.
We don't have to go. We'll bounce around. Let's do it.
Yeah, because we're just doing this whole MJF thing together. Well, after the main event, they cut to a backstage thing where Jay White is getting the shit kicked out of him by 5 random dudes and a person, and I'm making this very clear, a person in the devil mask.
I mean,
I know who it is.
who is it?
Not MJF.
I know it's not MJF. I knew that for a fact. I'm like, that's not MJF. There's no way.
It's somebody who should be riding around in a goddamn rascal. It's Roddy.
It's Roddy. Well, yeah, we know that this thing's fake. He re-injured himself when he saw Adam coming out to the ring, after his loss to Samoa Joe. So, long-term story. Okay. Do you think then that, okay, what's your booking play here? Because we got Jay White's next in line, basically, to challenge MJF. The long-term story has obviously been the double switch, right? With MJF becoming face and Adam Cole becoming heel. Adam Cole makes sense to be the one that takes the belt off of him, but now we don't know when or if that'll happen. Do you still think that's the play? Do you think that they just keep it on MJF for the long haul? What do you think? Do you think Jay, Roddy by chance? I mean, what's your thoughts?
Not Roddy. I think
won't
Roddy.
take it off him. He might get a shot at it though.
I think Roddy is what tips, with everything he's doing right now. This is what tips Adam Cole to become bad. Like, I feel like that's the heel piece. I am really wondering, legit wondering, how real his injury is.
Think it's okay, Fabe, in that ankle?
I'm hoping, with my heart of hearts, it's a bit of a work. Like, it's probably hurt, but I don't know if it's as
Maybe it's
bad
just
as they're saying.
Sprained, and so.
Yeah, because a torn ligament in an ankle is a sprain, technically, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know that.
The bone's the part that gets you. If you get those bones, that's where.
Yeah, so we'll see. Like, I want it to be a work so bad, because then if this is Roddy, this is just sound like the hook at the end that shows that Roddy's the one behind all this, and then here comes Adam to completely destroy MJF. Oh my God, the payoff would be so amazing.
I mean, and it's an easy setup, because it's basically like this whole thing was the plan from the very beginning, and we went to make sure you were 1,000% broken, to get us there. We couldn't have you just kind of be into it. We had to make sure that you were 1,000%, and that's when we broke you. We'll see in the next couple of weeks if it's a work. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So what do you want to talk about next then, sir?
Let's do the real fast. There was a Darby and Christian Cage little promo that actually wasn't bad.
Heard you had an uncle.
Bring everybody. Bring your mom. Bring your sister. Bring Nick Wayne. Bring Nick Wayne's mom. If that's a good idea, I'll give her a call.
I got her digits.
I actually didn't mind this. Now, on for those of you who missed it, on Rampage, Christian Cage became the official TNT champion. When Darby went to the coffin drop, was going to go pin, and then he got thrown off top, and then Cage pins Luchasaurus to be the official TNT champion now. So they have a 2 out of 3 falls match at Wrestle Dream. So.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. We'll put a pin in that one.
I like the promo, though. I thought it was good. I thought Christian's doing fantastic work.
Same with Darby. Darby, that was good from Darbs.
Darby's not... Okay, your problem with Darby is what happens for 70% of his matches.
80%.
80% of his matches. Okay, all right. For majority of from bell to bell is your problem with Darby. So we had 2 matches. So we had 2 matches. There's a couple of little promos here and there, previewing stuff. It's all previewing stuff for Wrestle Dream, so we're not going to get into it. So there's a 4-way match, which is fine. It's kind of like a preview of Wrestle Dream because it's one member of each of the 4 tag teams that's going to be going against each other. So I was like, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shocker, Orange Cassidy won. If anybody saw the names. So if I gave you these names, Orange Cassidy, Austin Gunn, Matt Jackson, and Penta, you thought you would be thinking to yourself, there's only 2 people who can win this match. It's either going to be Penta or Orange because the other 2 are tag team specialists.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, honestly, the star size of everybody in there, it's like, oh, this is Orange. Orange is winning. Easy.
He did.
What?
So you had that one. You had also a triple threat match to determine Rey Fénix's next opponent next week. On the 4-year anniversary of Dynamite, one member of the Lucha Brothers, and he could have fought Claudio Castagnoli, Brian Cage, or one half of the Young Bucks in Nick Jackson. Gee, I wonder who was going to win that match.
Yeah. Not surprised.
And that's great. It's gonna be a fantastic match next week. It's gonna be like all the flippy spinny bullshit that I love. But anyway.
Yeah.
So we have 1 match and 1 segment to talk about. Well, we got 2 segments. Let's talk about. You want to talk about the contract signing?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the women's match first before we talk about? I mean, that was probably the match of the night.
Let's do the contract signing first, because. Actually, no. Let's do women's match. Let's do women's match.
Okay, so speaking of storytelling, yeah, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale came out with her eye covered, and then during the match, it got exposed and showed that hey, it's got some of the black crusty stuff. So that got Jamie's wheels a turning. Who else has had the black stuff around their eye? Julia Hart. Do you think this is a ploy to get Willow Nightingale in the house?
I'm not gonna lie. That thought crossed my mind twice, maybe 3 times during this match. It did at the beginning because I noticed her logo. Nightingale is in a very. It always has been this way, but I haven't really noticed it. But it's been in a very demonic looking font. If you look at her entrance music, it looks like the same font that you have House of Black written out of. She seemed to have more beef with Brody King during the parts of this match, which is I like. It's cool. She even did Brody's dog barking trick, thing. And that's when I'm like, oh.
And the crowd got so behind it.
Ooh, yes, they did. And I'm like, think about this. She's the female version of Brody King on the House of Black. Julia Hart's the female version of Malachi on the House of Black. I was starting to buy into it. I don't know if they'll go that way fully, but
then you need a female buddy, and then you're good.
And you got freak athletes on the female roster left and right. There's people out there that are available. Maybe a Dana Brooke. I'm just thinking freak athlete,
She's not a freak athlete. She's just
a freak. Well, regardless, I don't know if they're going to go with that path. I'm happy to see a women's match that was pretty good. Wasn't the greatest women's match we've seen in AEW, but I thought it was pretty damn good, and featured nobody from the Outcasts, Britt Baker, Sheeta. You have more women. this proved it. You can use them.
It was nice to see Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale and not the usual suspects. Because I legit have not watched a Julia Hart match since Dark.
Most of her matches are on either Rampage or Collision.
Yeah, which, I mean, Saturdays are really hard.
Saturdays are tough, right? Mostly they're on Rampage too for a lot of times, but they've been good, She's like that moonsault she did to win. Looked great.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
So anyway, more on Julia Hart momentarily. All right, we have there's the contract signing and then the thing I want to get to. So contract signing. What are your thoughts about your typical in the show with a wrestling show with a match contract signing for the upcoming pay-per-view?
It was your typical contract signing. 100%. Like, I wanted it to be just a tad different. I mean, the most difference out of all of them was the slap. Like, Swerve slapped the shit out of
One
Hangman.
five fingers to the face hard. It was. Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Swerve was great. This whole thing was not necessary at all. The match is already. We're already set for the match. We're ready for it. It's cool. We know the story. Swerve wants the spot. He doesn't care who it is. He wants to be the first black champion. Great. Cool. Let's see the match. I'm ready for it. Right? I didn't need this. I didn't need this at all.
No.
I did need the Don Callis family in my eyeballs, though.
Did you, though?
I did. Okay, so we might have different opinion here. Okay, so Don Callis there's a quick little video promo they had before. They're in Tokyo. They're going after Kota Ibushi because the match, and we'll get into the full card, but the match at Wrestle Dream is the Don Callis family of Sammy Guevara, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, and let's just throw in Will fucking Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Chris Jericho. So they're in Tokyo to go ambush Ibushi, and then they come out to the ring, and it comes out with just Takeshita and Callis. Callis getting that Iron Sheik heat, and he introduces the newest member to the Don Callis family, Sammy Guevara, and I'm going to save my thoughts here, okay? So they do some promo to talk about. They show a video of them murdering Kota Ibushi over at his dojo. What were your thoughts about the whole Don Callis family angle and everything they're doing with Don Callis family? Go.
I love everything except for Sammy.
Okay.
What Sammy was saying was not wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's just I can't stand Sammy.
Okay.
Cannot stand him. Like X-Pac Heat level.
Mm-hmm.
I want him away from my TV. And he's not wrong, though. Like, Jericho's selfish. Jericho will bury anybody, man. Like, he was telling some hard-ass truths. But, man, like, I don't want Sammy. Like,
okay.
Plus, Moxley getting hurt cost us Moxley versus Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh,
because
yeah.
that was going to happen.
That was going to happen. It'll still happen eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Counterpoint.
Okay.
My exact note that I wrote down here, and I'll explain this in a second, because you're not gonna like this at first.
Okay.
Exact words. Smartest thing they could have done to Sammy, putting him in the Don Callis family. Here's why. They did a slight rebrand with him. He comes out. He's got Scarface style entrance, video, right? He comes out wearing he looks like it's all Scarface theme basically. He comes out white pants, the expensive shirt, right? Not rock style, but shades, all that stuff. Smug look on him. The minute he opens his mouth, fuck you, Sammy chants. And there's one other person in AEW who has that level of heat, and his name is Don Callis. And this whole Don family, Dawn family, it's a mafia thing. I love this. It makes sense. Because what do you do with Sammy? He proved that he doesn't have the chops to be top guy by himself yet, right? In ring, he's fantastic. We know we've never disagreed. We've never argued that fact, right?
Yeah.
He can wrestle. He can do all crazy, stupid shit. Fantastic, right? So, what do you do with a guy that everyone hates? You put him on the faction with a guy that everybody legitimately hates. I love it. I think it's fantastic. You get this mafia thing going on now. Cool.
The mafia aspect, but God, I just hate Sammy. That's my
I
problem.
know you do, but that's why you put him with Don, because Don's got Iron Sheik heat everywhere he goes. So
yeah, but you don't want Don's heat to turn into X-Pac heat because of Sammy.
I don't think it will. I think you'll see Sammy's heat change, right?
No
Sammy,
way.
people will boo him, and then when the match gets like 10 minutes in and it's an all out banger, they're cheering and screaming, right? And then the match is over and they boo him again, right? I don't think he's got X-Pac heat yet, right? But
do you not remember like 3 months ago?
Touche. Yeah. Okay. So he's
bordering
bordering on X-Pac heat. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Well, when him and Tay were out together, he was getting X-Pac.
He was
hardcore. Both of them were. People turned on them like I've never seen. Like that was the fastest. Like, oh, we love you. What the hell? We hate you. You know.
It was fast. Interestingly, though, I don't know. I think ever since and this is due to pregnancy, I know, but ever since Tay's been away and they've broken that up a little bit on screen, I think it's subsided a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That's why I think it's smart. Because what do you do with Sammy? You can't keep him with Jericho because nobody cares, right? That whole match at Grand Slam, nobody cared. Not one person cared. The most interesting thing was low blow. Here comes Don Callis. Don Callis can make it interesting, and he can end up going 6 months and then offering Sammy as a sacrifice to get somebody else, right? Daniel Garcia, who knows, right?
Yeah,
and maybe that gives Sammy a push, but this is where you put him because that's where the heat is. Even if it's a little nuclear on Sammy's side, I think it's good. I think it's smart. That's me.
Agree to disagree.
You guys let us know what you think. Was this a good move?
I think it's hurting Callis. I think this is gonna hurt Callis.
Well, let me ask you in retort. What do you do with Sammy then?
Fire him.
He's not going to fire him. You know that.
Suspend him forever.
For being unlikable?
I mean, it works in some places.
Well, that was the show. Like I said, it was an okay show. But what's going to be more than okay is going to be Wrestle Dream. Austin said this last week. They're going to slap it together on the weekend. It's probably going to be fire.
100%. 100%.
They did it. JB's got the card handy. Let's go through quick programming note. So due to this being like the new pay-per-view on the blog for AEW, quick turnaround. We already have stuff kind of in line going on this weekend. All three of us. So we're not going to be doing a post show this Sunday. We'll talk about Wrestle Dream. We'll reveal the winner of the belt and everything on Wednesday's show.
Yep. Go Chiefs, by the way. They play on Sunday night.
We're playing the Jets. I think you'll be fine.
You never know. You never know, though.
Oh, I know.
You could have the hopeless Raiders almost come back and beat you. So
we could lose to the Lions at home too. I mean,
yeah, without two of our key players.
We know you're playing the Jets. You play Zach Wilson,
yeah,
dude.
It's fine. All right. So first match, the match that I did not know I needed, but absolutely am ecstatic to see it. Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta.
Yes, please, right?
Ricky's going to win that, though.
I like the fact that this is kind of playing off the whole thing with Danielson, but they've decided to move away. Texas Death Match on Saturday. Now we're getting Yuta. And I go, oh, yes, that's what I want.
Yeah, give me some of that. So, Right after that, you have Young Bucks, the Guns, Lucha Bros, and Orange Cassidy and Hook. Winning team gets a future AEW World Tag Team Championship match.
Do you think this is? I don't think this is the Bucks. I think they're going to save that for probably next summer.
Yeah. I think this is where Jamie gets to have a little fun here. I think it's going to be the Guns who win.
Oh, I hope so.
And I think the Guns are going to cash in that night.
Ooh.
And then the Guns are going to become the new World Tag Team Champion.
I like all of that. As long as it's not Hook and Orange Cassidy, I'm sorry. I love OC. This is not where we need him.
But it's a good thing for Hook because Hook needs this.
Hook needs the rub, and you got to keep OC on the card somehow if you're going to be,
And this is where we miss Austin right now because, I mean, I miss him, period. But without Austin here, like, I think he could probably do a really good job explaining Orange Cassidy and Hook because we've talked about it. He's talked about it where Hook really isn't that great of a wrestler right now, man. And Orange is. And then sometimes when people aren't that great as a wrestler, what do? They throw them in tag teams to protect them. And, let the one good wrestler do most of the work while the other guy is still cutting his teeth.
Yep.
I think
it's good. I like your prediction too.
Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart. Julia Hart hasn't lost in 18 months or 17 months.
They said that way too many times than I wanted to hear it tonight.
Because you know what it means.
You know what that means, unfortunately. I would love to see I have been a big proponent. We both have. And Austin has too, a little bit, if you've been following us as well. But we've been big proponents of Julia Hart, especially in the past, 7-8 months when she's really been back wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they said that way too many times in the Go Home show.
Yeah, so more likely Stats gonna win unless we have a turning Willow Nightingale.
Ooh, Jamie's going fantasy booking just all over the place tonight. Look out!
No, we know Stats.
It's gonna win,
but I'm just saying.
It'd be cool to have a turning Willow Nightingale just in general. If it maybe comes after the match, right?
Mm-hmm. She joins the house. All right, then you have Eddie Kingston going up against Shibata for the Ring of Honor Championship and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship.
Find it interesting that they're putting them up together. Cool. I'm for it.
Why not? I mean, anytime I get to see Eddie Kingston on TV is a good day.
I have a feeling because there's a lot of Ring of Honor titles on the line here, which makes sense if they're going to do monthly pay-per-views. You can mix in some Ring of Honor into it, right? But I have a feeling this one's going to be on the 0 hour.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling too. Christian Cage versus Darby Allin, 2 out of 3 falls. So you might as well say
3 falls.
Out of 3 falls. Worst damn trope of all time.
If they just every once in a while did they win the first two, just keep
sweet. How do you feel about this one?
I mean, the pay-per-view's in Seattle. I feel like that's all I need to say about that. Oh, thank you, Randy.
Unless
you're I know where you're going. Go.
Unless Adam Copeland, aka Edge, shows up.
I was going for the
Nick Wayne.
Nick
for
Wayne
sure.
Turn. Nick Wayne turn.
Nick Wayne. I like if that happens and he crushes his soul and lets Christian win. I would be so ecstatic.
For what it's worth, I hear that a lot, Randy. I hear that I laugh like Seth Rogen a lot. For what it's worth, I actually am older than Seth Rogen, just barely, but enough to be like so technically he laughs like me, technically. But no, I appreciate it. Thank you. I think of all the people on the roster, Darby Allin would be one that would be like, no, I don't need to win in my hometown because this is a better story. Let's do it, right? I feel like he would be down like that. He's already won the TNT title in Seattle already, but I'm sticking by my original.
He is all about the storytelling. Like he is more of the artsy guy. It makes a lot of sense. Have the Nick Wayne turn there.
He wants to put Nick Wayne over too, so hard.
Oh, yeah. That's an understatement. All right, you have the Golden Lovers and Chris Jericho going up against the Don Callis family of Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay, the Billy Goat himself. And how it left, I think we know how this is going to end up.
It feels pretty strong. This is going to be well, I don't want to include Ospreay and the Don Callis family because I don't think he is. Even when he signs with AEW,
he's a hired
gun. He's going to have his own thing. But I feel like I'm just going to call it Don Callis family, regardless. I feel like it's definitely set up for them to win.
Yeah, for sure. All right, then you have the MJF match of the night. We're in a handicap match against the Righteous for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. I think we know how this one's going to end up as well, because, you never bet against the devil.
No. Unless Vita shows up. Give us Vita, Tony. Give us Vita, goddammit.
Unless you see a boy named Johnny and he plays the fiddle. Then that's the only time you bet against the devil. And it's in Georgia.
Yeah. Although I do like the Righteous getting a little AEW rub. I do like that.
Me effing too.
I love their gimmick. I mean, it's so good. And
the horror fan in me digs it beyond all things because
so good.
Cult leader, evangelistic,
devil's reject mix in there,
like psycho socio, like he's got it all path,
right?
And legit may or may not have a severed head in his freezer right now.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, he trips all the triggers for me, and I would love to have Vincent on this show, but we'd have to go through AEW in order to make that happen. And if we knew anybody,
hoops. They have a lot of hoops. So we're trying.
Actually, we know one person, but that person's in a different department.
Right. It's like there's a lot of hoops, and we're two big fellers, so it's a little hard.
Yes.
All right.
FTR versus Aussie Open for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This is the same team that just lost the Ring of Honor Championships a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But they deserve this match because they're amazing.
They definitely deserve the match. I think this match is going to fuck for a while. Seriously. It's going to be great. And if your prediction is true about the Guns, which we haven't got to that match, but,
Yeah, we did.
I like it. I don't think FTR is losing to Aussie Open either way.
No, I think it's gonna be a hard fought match. The FTR is gonna win, and then it gets cashed in on them, and then you have new tag team champions.
I love that. That plays well into the Jay White storyline too. So anyway,
exactly. Then you have Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland.
I honestly don't know. Because both men are over in general. Both men are booking over as well. So it feels like Swerve. But I don't know, man. I mean every minute I bounce back and forth on what I think will go with this. Because I could see this one literally go either way. I don't think a loss does either one of them any harm. I think a win is great for both of them, but not necessarily bigger for one than the other. Maybe Swerve, it's bigger. Swerve's bigger win. I don't know. I'm just going to go with Swerve because he's from Seattle too, and I'm going to keep that, and I don't know.
So you know how I always do this. Who can afford to lose? Who can't?
Right.
And this is going to be a bit of a surprise. I think Swerve could actually take the loss here.
I think either could, personally. That's what
I think Hanger needs this win because a lot of people, as they've said in their promos, people think he's been given his spot.
It's a good point. Not just CM Punk, but yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, like Swerve's tapping into everything. So he's the one who needs to prove to everybody that this is his spot. I firmly believe he needs to win this match.
Okay. I get all that. I think fully get you there. I still think this could be either or though.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, because it's like he needs to win it. I feel like they position and they're starting to get in there with Swerve to give him a run. Not at MJF, not at the top, but something, right? Especially if Darby Allin wins the TNT title.
Yeah, one of these Seattle boys has to lose. Both of them can't win.
I'm with you there, absolutely. Well, you got three Seattle boys, basically Seattle.
Yeah, well, this last one.
Basically. Not really Seattle, but close enough Seattle. Right?
Close to Pacific Northwest. And then the last match is Jamie's wet dream of a match. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Oof.
for bragging rights of who's the best technical wrestler.
And I'm not factoring this in the equation about the Seattle boys must win, because this doesn't matter. You know, in that argument, I think Danielson wins.
Same.
You know, of course he will. But yeah, you might. I'm gonna have to check on you midway through the match and make sure your BP is still below 180. Just to
So here's a question for you, and I've been just holding this in my back pocket for a little bit.
Okay, what you got?
So Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. is by far, in a way, going to be one of the best technical matches we've probably seen in the past 3 to 4 years.
Sure.
I don't hesitate to say that.
I think that's a very, very easy statement to accomplish. Yes.
What do you think, when do you think the last technical match actually happened on WWE?
Like really technical?
A technical masterclass like this?
I would say Walter Dragovich, NXT Takeover.
That's NXT though. I want.
That's a WWE brand.
Not anymore. They don't consider it a brand.
God damn it! Well, when it happened, it was okay.
I want it.
That
like,
was it.
Fed.
That was it.
No. Yeah, because that's where I was getting ready to go. Like NXT's got it, but the main show.
You're looking for main shows. Main two.
The money draws.
Oh my God. You have to be pre AEW. I mean,
yeah,
definitely pre AEW.
There's only one match that comes to my mind.
I'm trying to think, because there was a Claudio match. He had a couple good matches in there. I think he had one with Dolph. Like right after he left the Real Americans. I can't think of one on the top of my head other than that. I know that match happened somewhere, but that's about
the last one that comes to my mind is Daniel Bryan against CM Punk.
Okay.
It's probably the last one I can really think of.
That's a big one, right? Yeah, I'm with you. Because Daniel Bryan's, he usually fought again. I mean, would you consider Daniel Bryan and RKO's stuff, though?
But is Randy that technical?
That's what I'm trying to ask. Is he? He kind of is, but he's.
But yeah, no. This is too technical. This is a technical masterclass.
Right. Well, I don't think there's anything since probably since the 90s that Fed would have to put up against technical wrestling wise. And I'm talking like early 90s.
Like Jericho Dean Malenko, like that's one of the ones I can think of too.
Right. Well, and they did have, because they had a lot of post WCW stuff, because when they absorbed, they did bring in a good amount of technical wrestlers.
Yeah. So that just brings up my main point in this. So clearly the Fed doesn't like technical wrestling because NXT had so many great technical masterclasses.
Oh yeah.
Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh.
Brutal but technical. Like that thing was just gorgeous.
Everything
gorgeous
Kyle
match
O'Reilly did was fucking
technical. Like it was great. So they have it out against technical. Is technical wrestling a dying breed? That's my main question.
Okay. Good question. I would say no, because WWE is not the only controlling force in wrestling. If there was no AEW and New Japan didn't have any penetration into America, I would maybe have a different argument. I think that WWE as a whole, like individually, they probably don't have it out for technical wrestling, but as a whole, their brand is entertainment, right? They've always that's what their ethos has been ever since they dropped the F and became an E, even before that, right? It's entertainment, wrestling-based entertainment. It's not wrestling, right? The banned words, they can't say the word strap. They can't do, a lot of, all that stuff, right? So I don't want to say, like, they have it out for technical wrestling, but they definitely have it out for technical wrestling because that's more what wrestling is, right? Lucha is the flippy spinny stuff. You still see a good amount of that in WWE because it's exciting and woo. But technical wrestling is for people who like wrestling. And WWE is searching for the audience that wants to be entertained by a combat-like atmosphere. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's dead, though, because you have AEW and you have others. And even Impact. I mean, look at some of the Josh Alexander matches we've seen when he's been healthy, in the past year and a half, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So I think that there's definitely an appetite for it. I don't think it's the biggest aspect of wrestling out there, but I wouldn't say it's dead or dying by any stretch of the imagination.
So, for me, I think we are officially hitting the supernovae of technical wrestling. So that is the official name of a dying star. Okay. And I think it has a lot to do with generational things. Okay. So, our grandparents, if they were wrestling fans, grew up on technical wrestling because that's all it was.
Yep.
Right? Then our parents got technical wrestling mixed in with some top rope, second rope moves. Okay.
A little bit of stuff. A little bit here and
there. Yeah, and maybe just a little bit more. And then us, we lived in the golden years, of wrestling.
Yep.
Granted, we are older than probably some of our fan base. Sorry, guys. That we got technical wrestling in the beginning, got lucha libre, like we got exposed to all these things, and we got storytelling and all these other pieces, but the wrestling product was always phenomenal.
Yep.
The new generation is the scale is sliding, right? So technical wrestling is way less important, as you just said, like, because with WWE, the entertainment, technical wrestling doesn't matter. John Cena, not a technical wrestler, had the 3 moves of doom, did his thing, but he was arguably the most pivotal, influential wrestler for a decade, and
Right.
and now we're in Roman Reigns. And if anybody wants to say Roman Reigns is a technical wrestler, you can just unfollow us, because he's not. Like, that is not his shtick,
He's
and it's
Samoan John
fine.
Cena. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine that he's not. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, everybody. Hopefully everybody hears this.
He actually reinvented himself into an interesting character when he became
Yeah.
heel. So cool. Good for him. Right.
And like, yes, there's other avenues to be able to get it right now, and that's really great for us as the true wrestling fan, not wrestling entertainment fans. But as we move forward, man, I think my daughters, when they get a little bit older, man, they're not going to care about technical wrestling. They might because of me, but that's about it. And like, the people who watch the Fed now, their kids watch it later, they're not going to care about watching Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. I hear you.
It's sad. It hurts me because it's beautiful. The artistry, the catch wrestling, all of these things that come with technical wrestling are near and dear to my heart. That's why I love Japanese style wrestling. Like the Joshis still do it and everything like that. You might get it more out of the women, and maybe the women become more technical, and I'd be super in on that.
I'd be cool with that.
Maybe that's the evolution that they go. Then we get that new era, and then we might get a golden age of women's wrestling, because I know they're trying to push towards that, and maybe that's the route. But
I
I'm
hear you.
sad.
I think that a lot of that, and you can make good equations between that and just wrestling, like amateur wrestling, right? Like wrestling used to be massive, right? Did you wrestle in high school at all?
I did not. I played basketball.
You played basketball. Okay. Yeah. My dad did. So my dad played football and wrestled, right? And it was kind of like that was the standard, football. If you're a big lineman, like my dad was a center, right? You're a lineman, you wrestled. That was what you did. And everybody did it. Everybody loved it. And it was a thing, and wrestling was big, and college wrestling was big, right? And Olympic wrestling was big, right? What is collegiate and what is, like club wrestling, is it's not as big anymore as it is. A certain place it is, right? But you look around, just like the major universities, for example, Mizzou is in the Big 12. We won the Big 12 the past 4 years that we've been in it, by the way, in wrestling, because there is no SEC wrestling, right? So you have all these major universities and you don't have wrestling everywhere, right? It's not like the big thing, right? I hate to say like this, but non-professional wrestling has become similar to hockey, right? And I think technical wrestling is that. Because technical wrestling is derived off of that, right? That's your foundation, You wrestled as a kid, you wrestled in school, you want to become a professional wrestler, you become like Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., right? I think that I believe it's always going to be there, but it just might not be as big of a piece, as big as a part out of it. But there's still, I feel like there's still a hunger for it. Because you go to places, like if you go down to Oklahoma, you go to Iowa, you go to Mizzou, and they're selling out the arena for a wrestling match against who cares?
Iowa's program is the biggest in the country.
Absolutely. Iowa and Iowa State.
They have pyros.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and like I said, it is. You go to any one of those schools, it's big times. I mean, Mizzou had a big wrestling thing they did at Busch Stadium with Mizzou in Illinois, right? And they put 25,000 people in the stands for collegiate wrestling, right? So I hear you that it's not what it was, and I don't think it ever will be. But I don't believe it's going to die. I think it'll become smaller. But you know how these things are. They're cyclical, too. Who knows? Maybe the women is the way back to technical mastery. And I'd be all for that.
Yeah, God, I hope you're right.
This is not going to be the swan song of technical wrestling, Jamie. Don't worry. I know you're thinking it is going to be this Sunday, but it's not. It's going to be amazing.
I feel like it's the beginning of the end, man.
It could be the peak. And it could be the last peak for a little bit, but that road down goes back up eventually.
God, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Let the optimist in me get you there, man. We're gonna get there. Well, we're gonna hey, 1 week to book it and fucking banger, man. This show's
Mhm.
this show's wild. 2 out of 3 falls match. One
3
women's
falls
match. You could have had another one, but at least the women's match we're getting is something different. Cool.
I'm very appreciative of that.
Bunch of crazy stipulation stuff. Potential for maybe a same day cash in. We'll see. You know, and yeah, lots of titles on the line. So, final thoughts.
AEW Dynamite, AEW Wrestle Dream.
He's good.
He's good. You can do it.
You said Waterboy. I had to pull it out, man. I had to pull it out.
Yeah.
What's funny? So it was like there's one of the streamers I follow on Twitch. You know, we were all like a bunch of us in chat. We were going and just started doing like Waterboy references out of nowhere, and she's about 4 or 5 years younger than us, right? You know, never seen the Waterboy, and we're all like, what the fuck?
This is my wife and I's first date ever.
It's like everybody's seen the Waterboy, you know. Anyway.
Everybody.
Moral of the story, guys, go see The Waterboy. Next week, we'll have, so once again, reminder, no post-show after Wrestle Dream. We will be back next week with an Austin Reddick by our side. We'll recap the pay-per-view. We'll see who the new champion's going to be, you know,
Please.
For our picks. And we'll talk about the post-Dynamite show and everything else going on in the wrestling world. Plus, it's the beginning of October, so Jamie's going to have something horror movie related for us. We got an action-packed show next week. Please, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, give us a follow, whatever the terminology is. Hit that alert bell so you know when we do go live, because we do live or post-show recaps for some pay-per-views. We do it for the main pay-per-views, and now that AEW is moving to a monthly schedule, we're going to have to rethink some of this, but hit that bell so you know when we go live. But we'll be back next week for sure. Same bad time, same bad channel. And yeah, Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down to Spotfest, I got one word for you.
I don't even want to even try.
Supernovae.
We need to get, that's got to be a shirt. We got to make that to a shirt.
There you go.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Peace.